did you face any difficulty getting consistent and comfortable in the hijab? Because it's one thing to put it on, but it's another thing to be consistent and comfortable and feel confident and feel like it doesn't make you less in any way. So, and how long and at what age did you start to feel confident in your hijab? And if you're not even there yet, if you're not yet confident in it, it's also okay. Like you said, it's a journey. So, Adra, do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, so I think there's something that I wanted to mention in all of this conversation, which is, the point where there was a departure from the understanding of hijab as something that was cultural, the uniform part of things, to when it became something that was just the understanding of the hijab. Because I think it's good that we have a conversation around what is the meaning of it. It's not the headscarf is literally, wallahu alam, I think it's actually the list part of the hijab, right? The hijab is not a scarf. For proper understanding of the hijab, it's a mindset, it's an understanding, it's a way of life, it's a lot of things. So putting a headscarf on your head, I mean, nuns wear hijab, if you may, right? They cover their head. People in other cultures, Ethiopian Orthodox women wear something on their head, which can be a hijab, but this is not the same, if you may, right? I mean, of course, it has similar roots and similar, but it's not the same as a hijab. So I think for me, the understanding, so I took, like I mentioned, I wore the hijab when I was 16, and, since then it's been this way for the most part all my life. But I think the realization didn't come about the essence of the hijab. So there's a letter of it, like I mentioned, which is in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Women cover their head, they cover their aura, all of that, technical things, details about the hijab, we understand that. But the essence of it, right, the understanding of it didn't come to me. I think maybe until maybe around, I would say now maybe, I don't know, 14 years ago. So basically much longer after I started, wearing the hijab. So this concept of something called the maqasid. What is the objective of the hijab? What is the essence of it? What is the understanding of it, right? Putting a scarf on your head and not acting appropriately doesn't really follow. And John, this is not a statement of, this is not around being judgmental. It doesn't mean you have to have perfect character before you start to wear the hijab. This is not what we're saying here, but we're saying that the scarf is actually the almost the end piece of that journey, right? It is something about submission in your heart to the will of Allah, something about understanding about how to portray yourself as a Muslim woman. How do you want the world to see you? This is, I am a Muslim. This is what I stand for. I stand for modesty, right? This is why the hijab, as we know very well, when you wear the hijab, you should also wear proper clothing that is clean, that is nice, that is not, figure hugging or figure shaping or whatever the word is. But I think, again, we have this general understanding, but I want to make sure that in this conversation, we give room to understanding the essence of this hijab. It's a way of life. It's the way that you talk, address, and present yourself, the way that people see you. All of this is hijab, right? It's not just the physical scarf on your head. So I think, just to go back to your question a little bit, when I landed in so I came to the US to study. I was 16 the same year, or 17 the year after. When I was at the border, when I was in New York, the border patrol officer told me to take off my headscarf so he would take a picture of me. I didn't mind at the time. I mean, now I know better that this was some sort of like maybe discrimination against me or whatever. But because I think at that time, I was like, oh, you want to take a picture of me so you can really see who I am? Okay, that's fine. And then I took it off. He took the picture and I put it right back on. And, and life moved on. I didn't fuss or whatever, right? Because I think the understanding was different. Now, with the understanding that I have, if I had it then when I was 17, no, you can't take off my headscarf. It is a part of me. It is my identity. This is what I look like. This is who I am. This is how I present. So those understandings. Anyhow, to answer your question, which I think I forgot already in all of my yapping and talking here.
So I'll just read it again. The question is, did you face any difficulty getting consistent and comfortable in the hijab, and how long and at what age did you start to feel confident in your hijab?
Right. So I think I answered that question. So even though I've worn it all along, the understanding of it didn't come until a little bit later, right? And as as I move on, even till this moment, I understand and appreciate it better because I know what the hijab is all about. I know the maqsid of it, the objective of the hijab, as Allah instructed us. I understand it now, so it's easier, for me to wear it and again to present myself as a Muslim person that wears a hijab in my character, in my speech, in the way that I engage society, because all of that is the hijab, not just the headscarf. So I'll pause there for a moment. And thank you for reminding me of the question.
Thank you.
Of course.
It's all right.